Grade 11s, you did it. You made it to the end of the first week of summer semester, and let me tell you guys, if this week's worth of work is any indication of the level of insight and effort that you're going to be putting into the next 3 weeks of summer semester, then I am one happy teacher. You've done a great job of applying the feedback that I've given you, and showing that you're really taking the time to consider our lesson content and applying it to your assignments. Thank you very much. I'm still working away at applying feedback and assessment to the work that you've submitted thus far. So please continue to check back to the drop boxes where you have uploaded your assignments. If you're not sure how to check your feedback on things that you've handed in thus far, please send me a page or email, and I'd be happy to help you to find out how you've been doing on your assignments. Give me some time too, as I am still working through the things you've handed in already. Okay, so yesterday I learned some very important things about where you would be happy to spend 24 uninterrupted hours, and I got some really cool answers. Some of you choosing to spend time in nature. I got some answers about some very specific places, like just wanting to chill out in your room. Some people having very specific ideas about cities they would prefer to stay in, or geographical locations. Today I'd like you to use your birth date to check the chart below and find out your birth date scenario. So for instance, my birthday is February 9th. So if you look at the chart below, I was thrilled to find out that that means that I am very happily married to Mr. Barack Obama. And let me tell you, I have absolutely no problem with this birthday scenario. So figure out what your birthday scenario is and update the Padlet below. Again, I appreciate getting to know a little bit more about you, and this also helps me to know who is checking in on the daily and keeping up with our expectations and announcements in the newsfeed. For today's lesson, you guys are going to be taking your last look at what we'll call explicit lessons about stereotypes. And what you're going to be doing is reading a little bit about research and about MLA format, and applying that by reading up on someone who is a member of the First Nations, Métis, or Inuit community of Canada, and talking to me about how they are actively living their life in a way that is breaking a stereotype that is commonly held about our Indigenous community. So taking a look at a stereotype that is unfairly held about this member or about this community, and talking to me about what this person is doing, decisions they are making, things they are doing in their life that is proving that this stereotype that people unfairly hold about the community is just not true. Sometimes this is an assignment that people feel uncomfortable about because it means actually stating a stereotype about First Nation, Métis, or Inuit people. But please let me remind you that in stating a stereotype, you're not telling me that this is something that you believe to be true about Indigenous people. You're just telling me that you acknowledge that it is a stereotype that exists. Maybe it's one that you've seen in the media or one that you've heard other people acknowledge. It doesn't mean that it's one that you believe, it's just one that you recognize that exists out there in the world. And what you're doing is telling me, how does this particular person of First Nation, Métis, or Inuit descent, how are they living their life in a way that proves that this stereotype just isn't true? So if you have any questions about the lesson content, again, please send me a page or email, but you will notice that there are really specific instructions about how to do this particular assignment today. It's really broken down into very particular steps. There are several organizers to complete it. This is not the time to be cutting corners. Please pay really close attention to each particular step and how I've asked you to complete it, because the steps to complete these PEA paragraphs is a really good indication of the types of essay and longer writing tasks that we are going to be building up to later in the course. So if you can master the smaller steps now, it's just going to make those longer writing tasks easier later on. This particular writing task is going to be due, the expectation is that this task is due today, just like every task that I assign is expected that you're doing it the day that it is assigned. However, you'll notice that down in the newsfeed, I have asked that you please use this weekend to get caught up on any assignments that have been assigned this week that maybe you haven't gotten finished or get around to handing in. So I'm going to be taking a look this weekend, and I expect that everything that was assigned this week is handed into the appropriate Dropbox by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. On Monday, I'm going to go through each Dropbox, check and see who still owes me what, and I'm going to be making calls home to parents to let them know of anyone who's still owing me assignments. So if you would like to avoid that call home to mom, dad, or whoever takes care of you, then please make sure you have all of this week's work done. And you can check below in the newsfeed for a list of everything that was assigned. Please make sure it's all done, submitted to the appropriate Dropbox, and submitted to me by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Please do not let misunderstanding assignments or misunderstanding instructions be an excuse for not getting it done. You know you can always get in touch with me between 8:30 and 12 immediately, or I'll get back to you as soon as possible outside office hours. So send me an email or send me an instant message if you need clarification on a task. So you know what we're doing today. You know the expectations for when to get caught up. Be in touch if you have any questions. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay cool. It is a scorcher out there. And I hope that you have a great and safe weekend. I'm looking forward to another great and productive week with you next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.